right. So we've got e4. Let's go e5. Knight f6. Usually they play d3 now. And let's play c6. I'm looking for d5 and I want to get a big center. Usually they play knight f3 now, attacking e5. Okay, this move I don't know. I've never seen this before. So d5 is my first thought. Takes, bishop b3. Maybe just knight c6 there. If they take here, I'm okay entering this structure. I think I'm just going to play d5. Okay. If bishop b5 check, yeah, usually I have to play knight d7 there, but since knight f3 hasn't been played, I wonder if I could have done something different. So now I'm thinking knight c6. And if takes, g takes. I kind of like that structure actually. But is it better to play bishop e6? And if takes, I can take with the queen. No, I think I'm okay with this. Because I think my bishop might want to go to g4. Okay, he puts the knight there. So there's not pressure on my e-pawn, so I wonder if I have bishop e7 as an extra option. Usually we go to d6. Or I also have bishop c5. Bishop c5, d4. Takes... Yeah, it just looks good for me. So is that a move? Bishop c5. And again, if takes, pawn takes. Let's say bishop c5, knight c3. Now bishop e6. I think I have everything covered there. Let's put the bishop on c5. Okay. So he's not putting pressure on my center. I like that. I think I'm just going to castle here. Castle, and if he takes again, I'll take with the g-pawn, and I'll put my king on h8 and play rook g8. Right, now we play bishop e6. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with this opening. So he's going to leave the tension there in the middle. I mean, I kind of want to go after this bishop. Knight a5, let's say knight g3. Take b3, a b3. There's pressure here. I could also just move my queen, like queen c7 maybe? No, it drops the d pawn. Maybe queen d7 then. Queen d7. Knight g3. I wonder if I have to worry about like bishop a4 stuff there. Queen d7, bishop a4 immediately. I have a6. If takes, b takes, knight g3, I can just drop back and defend the e-pawn. Let's go queen d7. That looks good. Also unpin this knight. Okay. So we finally get this structure. I'm glad I was able to induce him to take there without having me play h6. Okay, so he's going to be looking for knight h5. That makes sense. I wonder if I can lay a trap, like king h8, knight h5, bishop g4. But then he could take f6. I take d1, he takes d7. So that doesn't quite work for me. I could start with bishop g4, queen d2. Hard to say. Other moves to consider. Maybe just king h8, and if knight h5. I mean, I'd hate to play a move like bishop e7, but it might be required. Is that position that bad? Let's see, king h8, knight h5, bishop e7, and let's say queen f3. Maybe knight d4 there. Yeah, I think my king needs to be on h8 eventually. I'd like to get this in. Okay, now bishop e7, I think. Am I hanging anything? Bishop e7, d5 sufficiently covered. Bishop e7, queen f3. I actually have just bishop g4 there. So let's say bishop e7, I'm threatening bishop g4, maybe h3, and then I play rook g8. Kind of like the looks of that. So now rook g8 is coming. Bishop h3 stuff. Knight d4 is another move. Okay, so if bishop g4, what does he want to do? Just maybe f3? He's stopping knight d4 for now. Maybe let's just play rook g8. And I can think about pushing this f-pawn up the board. Yeah, I like my position. Okay. So f5 comes to mind. f5, what does he do? f5, let's say bishop a4, f4. Knight e2, f3. Yeah, that looks pretty strong. Let's see, f5, any blunders? f5, let's see, d4, just f4 there. f5, f4. Is that ridiculous? f5, f4, e takes, knight takes, and I don't like my structure there. Is that really a problem? So f5, f4. It's kind of annoying, actually. Okay, what if I play rook g5? And if f4, bishop g4? Queen d2, I can get two pieces for the rook. Rook g5 looks annoying. Let's say rook g5, h4, same thing, bishop g4. If he takes my rook, I take d8, d1 rather. 4.5 minutes. Okay, so what else to consider? Bishop g4, f3. I can take here, knight takes. Yeah, let's try rook g5. I would have liked to play f5 there, but I think f4 was a good response. And if I can't play f4, then my structure sucks. Okay, he does this one. So what's his idea if I play bishop g4? Bishop g4, queen d2. Let's say I take h5, h4 there. I mean, that's got to be good for me, though. Okay, let's give that a try. So I'm looking at queen d2, bishop takes h5, h4, kind of traps my rook. But then I can play rook takes g3, f takes g3. And then maybe just rook g8, also queen g4 is interesting. Hitting this bishop. Yeah, that's got to be a good position. I think I will have to give up my rook, unfortunately. Oh, he just does it this way. So is that just a piece? If I take? I guess I'll do that. And f3. Okay. Yeah, I think he could have gotten more material out of this. I'll just back that up. Now I'm looking to double, push my h-pawn. I can also consider a6, b5 as a move. Okay, what's he trying to do there? d4 maybe? Also stops my knight from coming in. Okay, I don't think I'm too worried about this. Maybe just bring my rook into the game. And if d4, I think I just chop. Yeah, let's just Play this. Okay, 4 minutes left. I do have the 5-second increment, so that's okay. Let's see, what could he play? H4 is never a problem. And next I'm just going to push my H pawn up, because this is pinned. You know, like D4, I take, pawn takes, and then H5. Looks good. Yeah, I'm struggling to find a move for him. Maybe, let's see, B4 looks very slow. B4, H5, B5. Okay, he goes there. Well, I could play D4 myself. But I don't really want to give up the E4 square like that. Like rook E4 maybe. Okay, well what does he play if I play the most direct move? H5, D4, H4. That looks good. Alright, let's see what he's gonna do. Wait, let's see. H5, F4, and if takes, knight takes? Could be. But then, yeah, bishop G4 there, rook takes G2 there. Yeah, let's do that. So he wants to passively defend. I'm gonna just keep going. So knight F1, bishop H3. Maybe he has to play knight H1, bishop H3, and queen F1. So bishop G3, queen F1. I still take, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. Okay. And if bishop h3, g3, takes, knight takes, rook takes. Yeah, it's not so clear. He's probably gonna play g3. So the question is, do I just play h3 myself? You know, I don't want him playing d4. Well, maybe I play bishop h3, g3, and then d4 myself. Yeah, let's do that. I am inviting some knight f2 with tempo. Like g3, d4, knight f2. But then I just take. Yeah, that's not a problem. He needs his knight on h1 actually to defend the g3 square. Well, I think g3 is forced. g4, I bet I just sack. Yeah, he can't do that. So I kind of want to play d4 and then bring this knight around. Also allows queen f5. Like if g3, queen f5, d4 might be annoying. Well, d4 I just take here though. Maybe everything's good. Yeah, g3 played. Queen f5, what does he do? Rook f2, and then d4? I don't know. Let's just play d4. Just really want to shut in this bishop. I mean, he might play this now. Queen d2, okay. takes. Let's just bring this over. Got to speed up a little bit. Okay, I don't want to blunder some queen h6. That would be silly. So I just want to play knight g4 now. Sorry, knight f5. And if g4... Okay, he's running. So do I take first, or I think I just start with this. And if g4... Knight e3... Yeah, let's do this. I like my h-pawn here, stopping his knight from coming back into the game. I don't want to take this and allow his knight to come in. Okay. Alright, knight e3. And now I need to bring purpose to this bishop. Bishop c5. I'm threatening to take, so he might play c4. b4. And if I take here, queen takes. Knight e1 would be double check. See, does this really work? Takes. Yeah, I mean, I've got some double check stuff. I mean, if queen takes, I also have bishop d4, but if queen takes, knight d1 wins. Wins the queen. So, what else does he do? I mean, if he takes here, I take his queen. If queen c1, do I have some mate? I mean, knight g4 looks good enough. Knight g4, and then king h1 takes g1. Looks very good. Yeah, I think he had to play c4 there. c4 to keep this diagonal closed. See any other defense for him? He has to do something with his queen. I mean, he might just take e3, takes. Definitely good enough. Maybe just queen d4 there. Okay, so this should win. It's double check. Yeah, he might resign here. I'm on this rook, I'm on that rook. If he takes my bishop, I take e2. Yeah, there's no hope here. I'm also on this bishop. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, if he takes here, okay, doesn't matter. I'm completely winning there. Yeah, pretty smooth game, I think. Nice attacking game. Yeah, I've never seen bishop g5. Usually they play knight f3, d5, and then I have to deal with this pressure on e5. And they're just a little bit faster to put the rook on e1, and it's a little bit annoying. Usually, I think I play bishop d6 here. I'm surprised bishop e7, because what do I do if rook e1? Bishop g4 and f3. And am I not losing material here? Knight takes e5, so it must be knight takes g4. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway, one other thing I'll show is if they give check here, it looks like they're on the e5 pawn and they're giving check. So it looks like I'm losing material. If I block with the knight, right? They take e5. But bishop d5 counter attacks the bishop. They don't have time to grab here. And if bishop takes, now I take with the knight and everything's protected. So he did play the correct move in the game. When I played d5, he put his bishop on b3. Yeah, there's an argument to be said for bishop b3 now. What does it prefer? Okay, it wants him to take. Maybe because I can take here? Yeah, this endgame's good for me, obviously. Maybe he has to take this first. Okay. Yeah. Bishop pair for black. Okay, so let's see what happened. Knight e2. This surprised me. Yeah, so now I'm pretty much on my own. But I have to think this position's good for black because I have the center and they're not challenging the center like they usually do. Okay, bishop c5. It's been played before. See, computer likes... Bishop b4 check is an interesting move, actually. Induce c3 and then back up. So now they can't put their knight on c3. That's an interesting concept. But I don't mind what I played. They castled. I castled. Knight c3, bishop e6. Oh. Yeah, that would have been nice. Bishop f2 and knight g4. Wins this bishop. Yeah, I should be more alert on stuff like that. But strategically, I like my idea with queen d7. Actually, I'm surprised to see h6 up there because here I thought they would take. Oh, and again, I can play queen takes. Yeah, I was going to say that if I enter this structure, I don't really like having this pawn on h6. But this would have been smart. Yeah, I mean, this knight on e2 changes everything. Usually the knight is on f3, and so this bishop is held, and the queen on f6 wouldn't hit f2. So I'm just not used to this pattern. Okay, he took, and I like this structure, and the computer agrees. This plan of king h8, rook g8 is pretty good, and this center is supported now with the pawn on f6. So these doubled pawns aren't so bad. I mean, usually... with a knight on f3, sometimes they try to play knight h4, queen h5, and maybe put a knight on f5. But I think in this position, I'm pretty well equipped to deal with that. My bishop looks at that square. I also can sink a knight into d4, so that wouldn't be an issue. King h8 is correct. Bishop e7 is correct, and yeah, it's already giving almost -1 here. Rook g8, and bishop g4. Oh, bishop g4 right away. So why didn't I do this? Queen d2. And rook g5, so what's the difference? Why is this move order better? I played rook g5 first. It's saying f3. Ah, yeah, just f3. Okay. Yeah. And now bishop g4. Okay, so a little bit sloppy on the tactics in this game, but otherwise, I think pretty solid. h5, h4, bishop h3. Yeah, it likes d4. It's not one of their top moves. Well, yeah, it's up there. Just kind of asking white, okay, what are you going to do now? Queen d2, bring the knight around. Says I have lots of winning moves. And then this is kind of nice, bringing every piece into the game. And I think he should have played c4. Then I have to figure out what to do. Okay, it's saying queen f5 or queen c6. That makes sense. Just pile up on this. Yeah, I'm up a piece and I'm attacking, so you have to think white's going to collapse. And then this is just game over. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that one. Would like to see some higher rated opponents, though. Yeah, this guy's got a pretty low rating. But we'll see what I get next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.